were talking about your a personal Yeud and the special gifts that you give to the world, and basically, there was like a example that I had that I was like thinking about, that like every profession has different tools that they use. And so, like a seamstress has a needle and thread, and a doctor, they might have also like stitches thread, but a different type of, instrument to be able to do the surgery. And a baker has, I don't know what they have, but lots of things. So basically, it's like we all have these, we're speaking about like the special traits that we all have, and those are like kind of like our instruments that Hashem gives us, and they might look similar to somebody else in the world, but just like a needle and a whatever, another metal thing that a doctor uses look similar. They don't do the same thing. So it's like one person might have like be kind in one way, and another person might be kind in a different way, but the attributes that are that one person has that surround that kindness are completely different from the other person. So I guess like I had this like example of like two people, and I call them like Rina and Shalva. So, and they both, let's say, they lived next door to each other. They both had like two kids, and they think like, and in the back of their mind, they're always like kind of like looking at each other and like what's happening in their lives. So I kind of like just played it out as like a story and said, okay, so let's say Rina is, her Yeud is to start up chesed organizations. And then once she builds one up, then she starts another one. And then her tikkun, the thing she struggles with is like getting angry at her children. And so that's like kind of her personality. And then Shalva has, her Yeud is like expression and connection through painting and very like kind of more arts and different things. And her tikkun is a low self-esteem. So she has to like push herself to go do a lot of things. So in their day-to-day lives, like Rena's kind of always doing all these different things. It happens to be she goes on vacations. Like she runs her household very organized, but she yells at her kids. So, or, whatever. She loses her temper like a good amount of times a day. And then Shalva also, has a couple kids, and she's happy at home, but she kind of feels like, I can't do anything right. Like I'm not able to like keep my house in order. I'm not really, doing so good. She loves painting, and, but they're kind of in the back of their minds, they're both like looking at each other, and they're saying like Shalva's looking at Rena's like, well, like she has so many vacations that she's able to take, and like why is her household like run like a organization basically, and Rena looks at her and says like wow, she's so creative and has these different talents, like I don't have that, and that's kind of like they're looking at each other like that. And then so I contrasted it to like, I don't know, like how I was thinking maybe how like Hashem might look at, like if we knew, whatever, like these two people and their situations. And for Rena, it's like with the organizations, it's kind of like he gives her those vacations because he knows that she needs them to be able to keep on going back and making more, doing more in that chesed organization realm. And he is proud of her of like for doing that and reaching out and doing those things. And if she, let's say, yells at her kids 5 times, but there's one moment that she held herself back, and that's what she could do for that day, like that's amazing. That's really what she, like her purpose kind of for that day, and how she was able to fulfill that. And then Shalva, like it's kind of, he sees that, and like, let's say she sends out like one email that's like difficult for her, like, whatever, to get her painting and whatever, something in a different place, but it's so hard for her, and that's where she's at. Like he's so proud of what she's doing and where that direction that she's going in to, like, work on her self-esteem and go in that direction of her Yeud. So I guess you see from it that like really Hashem is expecting completely different things, like totally, from these two people. And they're so unique. Like everyone is so unique, but yeah, like everyone has a nose, everyone has hair, whatever. Like we all kind of look similar, but like internally, like we're just on such different planes. And like Hashem sees us as those unique individuals. When we have like a struggle that we're going through, he's or trying in something, like I don't know, like I was like thinking about it this week, like we're the ones that expect like perfection of ourselves, like never to be angry or never to do this or that. But like Hashem isn't really expecting that perfection from us. He's only wanting us to do like 10 to 20%. That's what Rabbi Niven says. 10 to 20% more of where you were yesterday. And that might only be in even a few different things that you can't even do. You can't do 10 to 20% in every single area of your life. You're drive yourself OCD like crazy, So like it's just I don't know. I guess I really was like, I don't know, thinking about that this week, that when you say like, okay, like the duty of a man is to perfect his soul, to be able to be when the things that you do that are godly connect you to Hashem's godliness and make you more like Hashem, and then that's like the perfection of a person. So the way I always interpreted that was like, wow, so like my role here is to just be perfect, like never do anything wrong. And so like that's completely misinterpreting it. Like that's not the work. Like you're always going to have something that's difficult. Like that's why you're alive. Like you can't ever do that. So like it's my understanding of it, like I guess this week, of like perfection is just trying what's reasonable and doing what you feel like you can do, and being in touch with your emotions, being in touch with yourself. Like if you feel like you can't handle something, you take a step back. Like it's like it's so part of the process. Like I don't know, like there was a certain point in my life when I was just like becoming more religious and just was like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, like this thing, and completely just like wasn't in touch with my own emotional, like what I could handle and what I couldn't. And then I ended up taking on too many things, and then it just, at a certain point, you can't sustain it, and then it's just whatever, it just doesn't work. So it was, so I don't know, it was just a very interesting realization, I don't know, that I had this week that I wanted to share. And then okay, so and then one other thing I wanted to mention was like that I was also thinking about this week was, and I think it goes really into that, like everyone's uniqueness and your own growth, and how you're doing that is like kind of like that self-love and like the positive self-talk that you like give to yourself. And like you're really like it's a really funny and interesting thing I heard from someone. She said, if you had a friend that let themselves into your house and they sat themselves down at your kitchen table and they started saying, wow, you handled that so awfully with your children, your food is terrible, like, and just like went through your day and just like criticize, you're like, get out of my house, but like how many of us just like do that to ourselves in our own mind, so we want to be that friend for ourselves that like comes into our own kitchen table and is like, look at that was really hard for you, and you didn't yell at your kids, like whatever. Like I was up with my 4-year-old last night and it was like for 4 hours and it was like crazy, and so I was just like, but I didn't yell at her. But when after I got out of it, it was like the first thing that comes into my mind is like, the negative. It's not a natural thing to say like, wow, like in the past you would have really been upset with her and walked out of the room a few times. Now you really comforted her and were able to get there and fell asleep on her bed, whatever. But like, it worked, So it's just like, I just thought of, I feel like it's just a very important thing, and like kind of going through this process of like seeing our positives and our Yeud statements and the things that are that our neshama like shines in is kind of like validating that, because like if everyone else sees something but you don't, then like I don't know, like you're missing out on yourself. Like it's like to even just I heard someone say like, you know, to even like look at yourself in the mirror and say like, use your name, like say like, hey Sarah, you did a great job today. I don't know. I'm like trying to think of something, making dinner when you didn't want to like do it, you know? Right. And it's like, oh, you're very responsible. And then like labeling that action with a label. So then you start to like feel in yourself, like instead of that, like, well, I'm always tired. I never do, like, you know, whatever, all those different things that you are subconsciously thinking. Now you're like moving towards those positive, like that, having that positive friend, you know, come and be around you. So yeah, so I guess that I felt that it really goes together with like the work. That,
so be your positive friend.
Yeah. Yeah, be your positive friend.
Step out of yourself, be a make-believe friend.
Yeah, be a make-believe
give back the feedback.
Yeah, you'll feel so good.
Right.
So,
like you said, sometimes we don't think internally, right? And by saying it, you're actually hearing it, you know, and it goes into your mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we don't stop and think, oh, you know, I did great today, you know. you never do that.
You know what?
Right.
When I journal in the morning, it's really thanking God for everything. But sometimes I notice something I did, and I thank Him for helping me accomplish this.
Wow.
So it is a positive that's coming out as I'm writing about myself.
Yeah.
That I didn't expect, and that, wow, that I actually managed that. That was good. Yay. I'm thanking God for it because He's the one that made it possible.
Yeah.
Took me by the hand and helped me do it.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So that journaling helps in that regard.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I never stopped to think about it that way, because usually I'm thinking I'm thanking Him for everything. But then when things come up, you're just writing, and one thing comes after the other. And thank you, God, for helping me tackle this thing. And I did it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, anyway, you could get positivity in.
Yeah.
It's important. It's really cool. Yeah, because like it's like the more positive you are for yourself, and the more that's like the more you see yourself with all that goodness, I feel like that's the way you're able to see other people.
If you don't feel that way for yourself, you can for Hashem.
Right.
You have to, you know, you have to love yourself, and then you won't be able to love Hashem if you don't.
Yeah.
You have to, so.
That's true. Wow. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go into like maybe some of the like the Yeud kind of things. I don't know if anyone has like I don't know, like there's a couple of people that like maybe have or are still working on it. Like, so I don't know. So I wanted to just like spend maybe a little bit of time doing, I like that it's a small group, so it's like more comfortable for me. So
Dvorah helped me when before she
Yeah.
she helped me what did I write? My Yeud is to bask in the light of Hashem through learning, connecting, and inspiring my family and others to connect with Hashem.
wow,
That's
Beautiful.
my Yeud.
awesome.
That's beautiful.
It's amazing. Okay, great. So, and you feel like that.
I feel what I'm missing is I have to find someone to
Share it with.
help him out. No, help that person out. I feel that I need it. I had it with my husband, so that was finished, and I feel like I need to do it with someone else.
Oh wow,
So,
it's amazing.
plus, I need someone for me. So. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. It's amazing. So that is there anyone else that has like one that they want to share, or to work through to get a better, like a tweaking of it?
Not with this thing on.
Can I shut it off? I don't know how. How do I
Pause it.
Can you pause? There's like people that are watching. I'm like,
We'll say, excuse me.
So we're going to take a brief pause.
yeah,
Brief
okay.
pause.
Brief pause. Let's see how to do that.
Those online watching this.
Okay, I don't know what I did, but okay.
Is it going?
No.
Whoever's watching,
It stopped?
they're gonna, what
You can
happened?
always get the rabbi to come back and fix it.
Is it on?
Yeah. Oh no. Wait. Can you ask Rabbi Wolby if how to do that? Still-
Is he there?
He's in class.
oh, he's here.
He's in the room. Should be in class.
Well, maybe it's not teaching.
Well, even if it's not 18.
Well, some people prefer more
Yeah.
personal stuff to be right.
For
a little more
sure.
private. I understand.
No, it's
I
like
think
I'm
trying to be
this-
respectful.
Especially this subject, I think it's
very
private.
very personal.
yeah.
personal.
So,
It's hard sometimes
it's
even
true.
with the people sitting right here. So
Right.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
it's okay.
For
Never
sure.
mind.
I agree. What did we end up doing? So we did. Did everyone do this one? Like the traits?
Button on the
Yes.
bottom right.
And we'll be taking a break.
Okay, we'll be taking a pause, and we'll be back 1 second. Finish.